Hi, I'm Joe with Kaiju After Hours. I'm here speaking with a young lady who is an actress from the Buffalo, New York area, Angelina Leigh. Hello, Angelina.
Hello.
How are you today?
I am doing wonderful.
Okay, so you're an actress. You've been in movies.
I've been in about, to date, almost 21 films. Almost over half I've had lead roles in. Most of them are horror era in the beginning of my career, and then I moved on to a little bit more of a sexploitation genre, and a lot of the raunchy comedy series. I've been doing a lot of those lately, and recently a lot of crime stuff.
So you're funny?
I love comedy. Comedy, as far as watching, I am a horror fan. I've always been a horror fan. I grew up on horror. But as far as making films, I feel the best of my ability comes out comically. I love comedy. I love making people laugh. I like grossing people out and shocking people, of course. So I do enjoy filming that more than anything.
Well, tell us about some of your comedies.
Okay, well, there is the Night of the Pumpkin, which was a graphical, pretty graphic comedy, kind of mockumentary of some of the indie film issues out there, like a couple of crappy films. You kind of see some technical things that are just like, how do you let that slide? And we throw that in there just to keep making fun of shit. There's a few new movies. There's Jesus, the Daughter of God, is a small thing in that, but there's some more films coming out now that are going to be more graphic comedy.
Is that why we saw Jesus hanging around your booth?
Yes.
Oh, I was wondering.
There's a Jesus trilogy going on. Bill Zabub is an awesome producer. I love working with him. I've worked with him for a couple of years now on quite a few movies. And he is, I like working with him. He allows my comedy to bounce off of his comedy, and we just, we film very well together. And he's mostly the producer of all the Jesus trilogy movies.
Oh, okay.
He also produced Disgruntled Employee, which I starred in, which is a sexploitation horror. It does have a lot of comedic undertones to it, but it's very it's got a really good thick story plot. It's been selling like mad. Everybody's been on a Disgruntled Employee kick. Everybody's asking for the jizz sandwich. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, it's Kaiju After Hours. We have NSFW all over that page.
Everyone's asking for the jizz sandwich. So.
Okay, the cameraman's above age too, so don't worry about that.
Okay. I was just gonna ask that too. I was like, but yeah. So
he's traumatized, but he's above age.
You won't be traumatized. If you see that movie, you're just gonna love it, and you're gonna know about the jizz sandwich. Just kind of, that's your son. Just gonna watch it. So.
All right. That's what therapy's all about.
Yeah.
So,
family therapy is always available.
now you had mentioned before a movie, Dangerous People.
Yes, Dangerous People is coming out. Very, very, very excited about the release of this movie. It is a crime comedy, and it is set back in the 70s. The whole set was just so awesome. It's a little bit of a higher budgeted film than any low budgets. They had really, really awesome time warps.
I saw the trailer for that too.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
It's Vincent Salva co-stars with me and Garo Nigashan, and it's like set back in the 70s. The scenery was just pure 70s, full actual vintage 70s clothes, 70s cars, 70s. Telephones, everything was real 70s.
I think we'll link the trailer to the site for that.
Oh, it's amazing! It's going to be an amazing movie. People are really you really want this movie out. Waiting, asking for it. So I cannot wait to see this. I do play the lead female in there with two co-leads that are males, and it's basically what happens when two male predators meet a victim who isn't exactly what she portrayed as. She isn't exactly a victim. maybe the circumstances, but in the end, we'll see who dukes it out and wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of backstabbing.
Oh, it's just one. You can't get. It's going to be probably one of the best movies I've done.
Cool. Now, we were talking earlier, and I said I'd seen the trailer earlier today for a Little Red Riding Hood film you were in.
Yeah, no, Ratchiken, which is the German version of Red Riding Hood. It is based, actually, Ratchiken, The Blood of Red Riding Hood, was a film, I believe my first film I have ever did. And it was quite a few years ago. Oh my gosh, probably about 5 years ago. And it's very hard to find. I haven't been able to find. I have like one copy of it, and I don't know how to even get other copies. There are people that are asking and inquiring, so if you know where to find it, let me know. But it was the German version of The Blood of Red Riding Hood, which is Germans. Germany is where the actual tale was brought up and made, and the Americans, seeing how cruel and adult actually some of the tales and nursery rhymes and stuff are, will cater the nursery rhymes to be more towards their children so that their children can be like happy, whereas the real story behind the nursery rhymes and these little stories like Red Riding Hood and stuff like that are actually very grotesque stories that the Germans told their children to scare them.
Yeah, so what's wrong with Americans? What's up with us?
We are very Puritan still, and so we can't take the real deal, I guess. We can't deal with it. But Red Riding Hood was actually made as a coming of age and sexuality tale. Red menses for the girl,
right.
And who wants to lose her virginity and is in a sexual mode, and her grandmother is really trying to suppress that. And she keeps talking about the predators out there trying to get into that sexual mode with her, and thus the wolf. So it is the German full tale of Red Riding Hood, which is Ratchiken.
Sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it was. I loved filming it, and I really wish I had some copies for you guys.
Speaking of that, red, you make a very lovely redhead. You've been a redhead, haven't you?
I am a natural redhead.
You are a natural redhead.
Yes, I am.
Why would you do that? I mean, I love blonde, but I'm red.
Everybody likes me in red. And it's funny, like I was published in Harkey's Redhead book, the All Natural Redheads at Home, and he made a nice layout in that book, and that book is still available on Lulu.com, and it's all about natural girls, no plastic surgery, that are real redheads, and I got that because a Playboy actually wanted me as a redhead, which is very rare. I was going to color my hair dark for Playboy, but they actually wanted me as a redhead in the real redhead. So I was like, okay. So after a while, when you go through a lot of film work, you will notice that people steer from redheads.
See, now
For some reason, I don't know why.
That's my fantasy villainess is a redhead. So.
See? I don't know why they steer from redheads. Probably, it could possibly be because there's a myth that all redheads have this like horrendous pale skin. I'm an Italian redhead. I'm very tan, as you can see. So I've never had a problem with being super, super pale or freckly or anything. So maybe they just aren't good on photo in certain areas. Very hard to find work as a real redhead. So that's the hair changes. But after I do the Right to Your Heart, about like, the basic, the movie that I am filming that you were asking me about, with basically like the Elsa Crush look. After that, the blonde just may be disappearing, and I may be growing out to my natural. So you might see it again. Very soon.
Look forward to it. Like I say, I like redhead.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you also, because it's a subject that a lot of people don't ask about, but you said earlier that you have a modeling career as well.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about that?
I've done 6 layouts in Playboy. I have done work with esteemed museums worldwide. I've been probably published in about 20 some museums. I've been in about 8 novels. I have had layouts in books, and most of them are nudes. I am an adult nude model. I went from Playboy to a little bit of the darker side of things, of the industry. They got better cookies on the dark side, so much more chocolate chips. So I started with fetish shooting, and I started getting some European layouts, Med Arts, and from Joyce and stuff. And after a while, I decided, you know what, your body is, I mean, what's the difference really between posing like this and posing like this, or posing with your legs open, or, you know, you just kind of, the line blurred, and I was like, kind of realized that there's actually more art and erotica than there is in your basic Playboy pinup look that's new. So I went full force into the fetish industry and into the adult side of things, and I did get a layout in Hustler Taboo, which is the only fetish print magazine out there. And I started doing more of the adult work with Hustler. I got another Hustler. My centerfold was November 2012, and the layout in Hustler was in January 2013, this past year. Way to kick out the year, so. I find it a little bit more relaxing to pose with the adult area. Find it a little bit more funner.
So they add something of a romantic quality to it, is there, or would you say that more of a story quality?
I truly feel that it's the sexuality is a little bit funner to display and play with when you're doing more of the adults.
Yeah, that's what because with the sort of, if I understand correctly, with the fetish market, there's part of it is the atmosphere.
Fetish bondage, yes. Now, like, I've been doing a lot of fetish bondage work, which is a lot of website work, and basically that is it's sexploitation, torture porn, but it's also torture porn, but it's a era of you know. There's this whole new thing coming about with bondage, and the whole damsel in distress thing that's coming back from Betty Page. And when I started leaping into this area, I was kind of like, I don't know about this. This is kind of freaky, you know, but I ended up doing very well in it. You get to mix the acting and the modeling, and you know, it's harder work. Much harder work, yeah, and much more. You have to be a little bit more weary of who you work with. And that part of that, you know, you just can't go be like, okay, I'll shoot for you, I'll shoot for you, I'll shoot for you. You're being tied up and gagged. It's you gotta be careful. But I do find that working in that area is kind of like, it's a new era of pornography that's it's flying out of shelves, and it's
would you call it pornography? I mean, is there, because if I understand correctly, pornography involves more than just nudity.
This is like the forced masturbations of the sexploitation, torture porns, you know, bondage, or your gag raped, whatever. But then there's a lot more of the fetish industry that is like, you know, there's a deeper quality to it, where they do have the whole damsel in distress storyline. There's some that I worked with that actually have completely been like awesome, because I get to come back as a damsel in distress and yes. That's what they want to see. It's all on the viewer, and every time you work on a fetish set like this, it's always something new. So you're always kind of like, it's never the same. You're not just standing in front of a bunch of lights and posing and changing poses and smiling and not smiling and changing clothes. You know, it's not the same boredom. You know, it's very fun and adventurous and very enjoyable. But yeah, I would call it pornography to an extent.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, trying to be clear about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not actual like having sex. I don't actually do like the actual genitalia contact, but it's as close it is still considered porn. I don't know
Sure,
if you
I
saw my
understand.
Hustler Taboo layout.
I had no idea.
Well, you have to stop by and see it. But yeah, so it is still porn, but it's a little bit of a difference.
Well, let's roll back to the movies. You had mentioned, and you briefly touched on it before when we were talking about the hair color, where you're going with being blonde again, which is something you've got coming up.
Yes, I have a movie coming up. I will be filming in a month, almost a month, for a couple of weeks, and it is basically it's a Nazi. It's about Himmler and Hitler and people like Ilsa Kosh, and it's a lot along the lines of like she worked for the SS. So did have to stay blonde for this role.
It's that German thing.
It is.
Yeah, again, what's up with the Germans now?
No, the Germans are taking over.
Red
Oh my
Riding
God,
Hood.
knock it off.
Our Nazis, Red Riding Hood, it's everything.
Jesus.
We want everything.
Yeah, Jesus is German too.
Oh, there
See?
you go. See, you know,
I didn't know he was German.
I'm burning for that.
German, Jewish, I guess. It could happen.
There you go.
A
Yeah.
mixture.
Persecuted.
Yeah.
He was.
Whoa.
Thematic.
Completely. And what a douchebag. Like, who would do that to Jesus? The Nazis
I am
would do that.
so going
Imagine
to
if there was a
burn for
Nazi movie that persecuted Jesus for being a Jew because he wasn't German.
That's actually a really good idea.
Let's do it. Let's shoot it.
Let's do that.
And throw in some bondage.
Jesus in bondage.
Yeah. Well, he was kind of tied up to the.
Yeah, well, you know, nails and stuff.
Yeah. We could do that. Sexploitation, torture. Easy. Some, nipple nailing.
You're creative.
I am.
Yeah. She's very creative. And that's why you need to see her movies, okay? All right. Well, Angelina Leigh.
Thank
Pleasure
you
talking
very
to you.
much for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
All
Go
right.
Buffalo!
Yeah, try winning some games.
Yeah, do that, Bills. Okay.
All right.
Win a few games. Football.
All right.